welcome to the Eye on Stone podcast. I am your host, Anderson Miller. Sitting alongside me is my co-host,
Dimitri.
And this is a introduction to our show and what you can expect to see when you tune in every week. Now, at this point, I do want to note that we have already recorded some episodes. And as we've been going, we've been kind of finding out what works, what doesn't. So you'll notice that this might look and sound a little better than some of the other episodes we've recorded, but I promise you they all are good quality. We just kind of want to have this look and sound the way that we envisioned when we went into this. So it's been a learning experience, but we hope that you enjoy what we have done and anything going forward. We kind of just wanted to do this to give you guys an idea of what we're going to be about. We're big fans of movies in general. Everyone you see on this show is a fan of some kind of movie, as most people are. There are a few people that don't watch movies. For instance, my wife, when I met her, she didn't watch movies at all. And now she's seen a lot of movies. But I feel like for the most part, and I think the other guys on the show will agree, that movies, TV shows, books, anything with a good story is always a good center point of any good conversation. And that's kind of the basis of this show. So every show will have a main movie or a TV show that we're talking about, but we'll also have just general discussion. And we hope that you can be a part of the discussion as well. Our comments are always open. DMs are always open. If you have any suggestions that you want to add to a discussion we've had before, or anything you'd like to see going forward, so forth. Anyways, with that being said, we haven't even posted an episode at this point. But we did decide it'd be cool to send an early release of our first episode on the Batman to a few of our followers on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And we've already had a user that wants to remain anonymous send in this really cool Superman cup that I will use for my coffee going forward. They really enjoyed the episode, but they said that they were sending this in hopes that we would do one on Superman as well. So to the anonymous user that sent this in to us, I want to say I do appreciate this greatly, and I can promise you we definitely will. I've got some McDonald's right here. Every episode we're going to be pushing some kind of product, mainly food, because we're all kind of fat on the inside or out. And I'm working on getting there on the outside. No shame. But yeah, we're open for some endorsements, sponsorship. I don't know. We need money. So.
Are we allowed to say that?
I don't know. Fuck it, it's our show. So yeah, I'm gonna be eating some McDonald's here while I talk to Dimitri. That's another thing you'll notice on the show. We all introduce ourselves in one way, but then we refer to each other in another way. So yeah, that's a thing. Like, my name's really Kyle. I like Anderson. It sounds better. And I call him Dima, as most people that are close to him will. But his name's Dimitri.
Yeah, like you said, we're just going to talk about movies, TV shows, different things that we're into and we believe most of society is into. We kind of got this idea a few years ago, which I thought we'll go more in depth at a later time. But, you know, we kind of always talked about having like a podcast, just hang out and talk because, I mean, we've done it anyway. Might as well throw a camera in our face and get our opinions about things out there. So.
Is this rude?
I don't know.
For anyone watching at home, go ahead and comment down below if this is rude. Because you'll see on other episodes we've recorded, we eat. Okay? We don't just sit down and talk, we eat. So, if you don't like that, let us know.
Yeah.
But feel free to join in with us.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it'll be a good time. You know, there's a bunch of things that, you know, for example, one of us may be into more than somebody else or have more knowledge with than the other people, which is really cool for, you know, our viewers, because then they can be like, oh, I'm not real knowledgeable about that. So they'll still have somebody that they can kind of connect with. Like, for instance, our Batman episode with Matt Reeves' Batman. Jordan, you know, he's not as knowledgeable. He's kind of more getting into it now than ever before. So he's
as well as Grant.
So they're real green about it, which I think our followers, some of them may be able to relate to, versus where you and I kind of grew up more into that kind of thing. And then there's other stuff like our most recent one, A24 Films. I've seen a few. I do like their films. I am a fan of their films, but I'm not as knowledgeable as when it came to you and Jordan. So there's different things. We each have our strong suit and our not so strong suit about different movies or TV shows where somebody else will be better knowledgeable or more into, which will really help, not only us, but it will help our followers be able to connect to at least somebody, even if it's somebody different each show.
Yeah. That's actually a great segue into what I want to talk about next, which is the people you're going to see on this show. So like I said, we're the hosts. You will always see us, excluding some segments we do. Like I have one I'm doing every month where I solve an ending of a movie that has some crazy ending that is left to your interpretation. And I like to think that I'm better than whoever created that movie and I can solve the ending. So yeah, that's my ego. And then Dimitri is our Star Wars specialist. So he's going to be doing Star Wars breakdowns every month. And myself and Jordan, who you will see on the show, will be sitting alongside him, but he'll kind of be taking the wheel on that. And then, so Jordan is our really good friend. He will be on most episodes. And then Grant is another good friend of ours who will be featured on a lot of episodes. He was featured on the first 2 that we recorded. Family, some other friends, colleagues, and really it depends on the theme of the show, whether it's a genre or a certain movie or an actor or whatever. We'll kind of pick people in our lives that we think would be a good guest on the show and can give good insight and all that good stuff. So yeah, you'll see all kinds of people coming on here. We like to think of this as just a hangout where we can invite people over, we eat some food, and we just kick back and shoot the shit. And we want you to join in on the conversation and feel like you're just one of the guys or girls or whoever hanging out with us. So that's the whole point of the show.
Which is why we do eat, is, to make it more laid back than just sitting here with a, microphone and a camera.
Yeah. And if at some point it gets us to where we're having people on that, like directors and stuff, that'd be cool. But right now our friends are good enough, I guess. So, like I said, we're going to have some segments, and my ending solved is one, and Dima has one, and Jordan will actually have one as well, which will be announced at later dates. But we're also going to have, like, skits we do, where we'll do some satire, maybe on something in a movie or a TV show or a book or whatever. Anything we've talked about, if we think there's something funny we can do with it, to entertain you, but also just for us to have fun while we're making it, we're going to do that as well. And we've already filmed some skits like this one.
Fuck you, Dad! Woo! I'll show all of you. Fuck you, user 74329. You're not a real DC fan.
So yeah, that's supposed to be the typical internet user that probably lives in their parents' basement, has joined some kind of cult that worships a idea, director, a genre, whatever it might be, like, Zack Snyder's Justice League. But that's kind of what we think that looks like. Now, it probably looks a lot filthier, and the person who is doing it is either a child who also cusses you out on Xbox while kicking your butt on Call of Duty, or a guy who's in his 40s and 50s, balding, overweight, dipping his waffle in a bowl of syrup like that guy in the movie Gamer.
I love that movie.
Dude, that seems disturbing. We'll have to talk about that movie on one episode. But yeah, I don't know. Just I don't know if you guys can see it, but this little cult figure guy behind me, that's actually where that came from, because as you can tell, that was pre-recorded, what you just saw. And I was like, you know what? I like how it looks. So now it's on the mannequin behind me, and it's kind of creepy. All I gotta say is McDonald's is pretty good. If McDonald's sponsors us, I will be a happy camper. I will eat McDonald's every episode.
I just want their fountain Coke.
Okay, yeah. So McDonald's, if you do sponsor us, I'll go buy the food. If you can just set up some kind of fountain drink system behind us, that would be cool. Like, I'll even buy the cups and stuff. I just need the equipment there. And maybe shipments of, like, the bags of soda that you send to restaurants. I used to work for McDonald's. I know how it works. We would need a CO2 tank, though.
We would.
We got room for that. McDonald's, hook us up. Let's just hit the spot, though. So, I'm really excited that we are finally doing this. Just because, for one, it's something we've been doing for a long time. And we know the chances of this going anywhere are very slim, and that's not really why we're doing it. We're very well aware that the market is oversaturated when it comes to podcasts and YouTube channels, and we don't necessarily think there's anything special we're bringing to the table, other than we're just regular guys that, like I said, do this on the regular, and now we're just filming it, recording it, and hoping that someone else can enjoy the discussion with us. And not only that, but maybe feel a part of the discussion. And I'm going to give some credit to our friend Jordan, because he has said for a while that I should start a podcast, literally for years. And I'm always like, because, I'm a big fan of multiple podcasts, as I'm sure anyone who comes on the show is. We listen to them in the car, at the gym, if we're bored at work and want to kill some time. Everyone has podcasts that they follow religiously. And I'm no different. And a YouTuber who I'm going to give credit to for why I actually did start this finally is Dave the Film Junkie. You are always preaching to just turn on the camera, record something, and post it and see what happens. So I finally decided to do that. And I'm glad, because Dimitri, myself, and Jordan, we used to all work together at least 5 days a week. And this is primarily what we did at that job. Now, in a later episode, we're going to discuss further what that job was, because it's pretty funny, and we all have some really good stories to tell from that I think would make for a good episode. Yeah. But before we get to that, like I said, we used to just do this regularly at our job. And now we all don't work together. We don't see each other as much as we used to. And it was nice to finally have an excuse for us to just get together, step away from our lives, and just do what we used to do. And it feels good. Like, I look forward to doing this every week. I really do. And I'm excited at the idea of maybe people out there that we don't know yet feeling like they can join in on the discussion and contribute. Because I love talking about this stuff. And not just movies and TV shows, but really any good story. Because, I feel like any story can be the center of a good conversation that can lead to a lot of other things. We've had discussions where we'll start talking about a movie that we just watched, and it ends with us thinking we've solved the answer to how the universe started. And I promise we don't do drugs, but if we did, we'd probably be normal.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like you said, just us being able to sit down and get together again, and just do what we've always done best, just talk. Mm-hmm. And I think that's great for, whoever does decide to watch us is, I mean, like you said, we're normal guys. We're nothing special. We're here, we go to work, we go home, we take care of our responsibilities, we spend time with our loved ones. We're normal people. And, in
a sense.
In a sense. And I think that's one thing our viewers can really, connect with us is like, we're not trying to be, anything more than what we are at this moment in our life. And I feel like I hope they will be able to connect with that and be like, yeah, I feel like I'm there with them and just, hanging out with them. And, like you said, when we just decided to do this one day, and that goes for anybody. Anybody can just set up a camera or their phone, and just start talking into it and post it. Like, it's easier than it looks. And I think that's the best thing about this is we just grabbed a camera, we grabbed some microphones, and we just sit down and do what we do best. And I think that's what I'm more excited for than anything else, is just to be able to continue to discuss the things that we absolutely love to talk about.
Yeah. I'm going to contribute to that thought because, like you said, anyone can do this. But it's really cool to just sit down and do it. And yeah, we are fortunate to have this space that we do. Dimitri and myself, we actually own our own business and we have a studio. So we had the room to kind of set this up. We had the equipment. And we were kind of prepared in those regards. Now, we weren't prepared in a lot of other elements, and we are learning as we go. But I gotta say, I'm really happy we just sat down and started doing it.
But that's the thing is, like, before we even had the space, we set up a green screen behind us in my guest bedroom. Mm-hmm. You don't need a space. If you just have a corner of a house, just throw a chair in front of it and throw a microphone and a camera in front of you, and you're good to go.
Dave the Film Junkie. Yeah. That's what he does.
Yeah. And one thing I really like about Dave is he's such a down-to-earth guy. And I think that's really cool that you can just message him. Like on Twitter, you can tweet to him and he will respond to you.
We're Dave the Film Junkie shills. All hail Dave the Film Junkie. Oh, dude, people on Twitter. He can be controversial, which is funny.
Yeah.
There's people like that really they hate watch him.
Yeah.
And he'll talk about this and he doesn't care because it's like you're giving him views regardless, right. So he doesn't care. But like they'll hate watch. And they're just, like, waiting for him to say something that they can, like, flip and then, like, try to make it go viral online, right. Like, try to get him canceled. It's so funny. I do want to get to a point where we have that effect on people. Just, it would be entertaining for me to just, like, kind of wake up and, like, you know, get the crust on my eyes. I turn my phone on. There's, like, all these hate messages coming in. Like, you guys suck. And I don't know. I'm one of those people that, like, negative stuff like that just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not going to make me feel any worse about anything I'm doing than I do myself on a daily basis. Not to get dark, but I'm just being honest. Like, I just want to see what people have to say. So, I don't know. I hope we get to that point.
It'd be entertaining.
It would be. Really I'd actually like to have a segment where we, like, read hate mail or something.
I love that stuff. Like, when there's videos out there of celebrities, like, reading what people tweet about them, and they just kind of shrug it off. I always laugh really hard about that because I'm like, these people are making millions of dollars. They're, you know, doing this, doing that with their lives. Your tweet isn't going to mean anything to them.
Like, it don't mean everything to me, though. Give us the hate. I want to get let's get canceled. All right, I'm going to say it right now. Our mission statement is, we are the Ion Stone Podcast. Let's get canceled.
Yeah.
Go ahead and DM us what you think we should do or say on our show to get canceled the most effectively.
Well,
that would be interesting to see what people say. Probably get some interesting GIFs. I like me a good GIF.
Yes.
So one thing I am really excited to do on this show is talk about movies, because I am a big movie person. With that being said, we're going to have an episode where we talk about our favorite movies, which I just watched mine again for probably the millionth time in my life a couple weeks ago. Now, to that point, I hadn't seen it for probably 5 years. And, you know, after some time in watching movies, you start to realize, man, maybe that isn't my favorite movie. Or maybe you start to forget why it is your favorite movie. And then you watch it again. So to me, I think if a movie really is your favorite movie, it never loses the quality that initially made it your favorite movie, is what I'm getting at. And for me, mine is Forrest Gump. And I gotta say, anytime I go a long time without watching it, like I did before this last viewing, I start to think that. I go to the theater all the time and see movies I'm excited about, like The Batman. And I will watch the movies and be like, man, this is really good. And then I start to question, like, is my favorite movie really my favorite movie? Or why was it my favorite movie? And then I watch it again and boom, right back to where I was before. And it's crazy because Forrest Gump is a movie that I can remember from my earliest memories as a child. So that's cool. And I think it'd be cool to get into what makes someone's favorite movie their favorite movie to them. And it's not necessarily it's the best movie ever. Maybe even in their opinion. Because to me, Forrest Gump isn't the best movie ever. It's just my favorite movie. Dimitri's is Salt. Yeah. Grant's is Zero Dark 30. And Jordan's is Saving Private Ryan. Which, Saving Private Ryan, another Tom Hanks movie. Classic movie. So good. and it's venturing into World War II, which we're gonna have a whole episode on World War II. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm a huge history buff. Like, history was like one of my strongest subjects in school and always was, and I think that is why I'm so excited about getting into those movies. It's just because I love it. I love history. I think it's really interesting. I think you can learn a lot from it. But back to, favorite movies, I feel like a lot of it has to do with the nostalgic aspects of it. I don't think everybody can say that they contribute this movie, this song, this book, this TV show to a memory. But I think a lot of people can relate to that in the sense of my mom and dad, and I watched the show The Firm with Josh Lucas on NBC, and it went for a couple seasons, I think 2 or 3 seasons, maybe 1. It's been a few years, and 1 season, and it was a great show. But it got me to read John Grisham's book, which my dad is a huge fan of his. But my dad had me read his book, The Firm, and I don't really like reading. Like I personally, is very difficult for me to read.
I like lots of pictures, like in comic books.
But anytime I think of that, I think of, sitting down with my mom and dad and watching The Firm. I think of where I was at in life when I was reading the book, which excellent book. Highly recommend it. I think Josh Lucas did a good job in The Firm. I like the casting. And then there's also a movie with Tom Cruise, which was a good movie. It came out in the 80s. But yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with nostalgic.
Yeah, 100%. I think nostalgia is just the key to a favorite movie, because that is 100% what's going on with my film. I mean, acting in it's great, the story's great, but I associate it with my childhood and memories I have with my parents. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see why everyone's favorite movie is their favorite movie. It'll also be interesting to see what runner-ups are and how they contrast, because mine contrasts severely from Forrest Gump. It's rated R and it's a very dark film. So, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time on this show, guys. We're gonna quit rambling on, but as you can tell, we love doing this, and it just kind of comes easy to us. Well, it's supposed to. I don't know. We have some difficulties, but either way, it's a lot of fun. We hope that when you guys tune in, you have fun as well. We hope we can at least help you kill some time on those long car rides, or maybe take your mind off the pain at the gym. But either way, it's going to be a good time. That's all I got to say. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to eat good. And we want you to feel involved. So if there's anything you would like to contribute, a good thing, a bad thing, bring on the bad things. We don't care. Message us, comment, share, talk shit about us, whatever. Just contribute. We want you to be a part of this. And if you have anything you would like us to cover, please let us know, because there is so much that we want to do. It is overwhelming, and it would actually be nice to do something other people want us to do, to kind of break it up a little bit. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm looking at the list of stuff that I can think of, it's like, wow, this will take forever. Yeah. And we're kind of playing catch up, because we do want to tackle things that are currently relevant, but we're also covering the things that have been released over the past 20 or 30 years. So it's a lot, to say the least. But yeah, I don't know. You got anything else?
I mean, it'll be a good time. It'll be fun. Hopefully not just for us, but for the viewers too. Yeah, we'll make it work. We'll hopefully be able to talk about things that not only we want to talk about, but what they want to talk about. I'm ready. Let's do it.
There we go. All right, so thanks for watching this pre-show to episode 1, which we will be covering Matt Reeves' The Batman. Very excited for you guys to see that episode. And do keep in mind, it is our first episode. We recorded it before we recorded this. It's a little rough and rocky, but it is what it is. We had a great discussion. We covered some things that I'm excited for everyone to hear. Some Easter eggs, some theories, and just our general thoughts on the film. And then from there, we have a whole slate that we'll be sharing with you guys. I literally have a notebook, and I keep notes on every movie I watch. and they're lined up and ready to go. So thank you guys for tuning into this, and we will talk to you soon.
Later.
That McDonald's was good.